Hello, here DB Animators and welcome to another random animation breakdown video. Let's start from this question. Have you ever played Ultimate Battle 22? I have. It's a very bad game, the gameplay is so intricate and the graphics looks crappy overall. But it had two things I really liked. The first being Kenji Yamamoto's soundtrack, he composed really catchy songs, and the second being the intro. Since this channel doesn't talk about video games but rather about animation, today for this special video we are analyzing the animation of the Ultimate Battle 22 intro. First of all, we can find the animation credits only in the game itself. No website turns out to have information about this intro. If we take a look at credits, they're quite messy, just like the game itself. Take a look, the header is toy animation, it's so vague. At first I thought the animation supervisor was Tadayoshi Yamamuro, as this game was released in 1995 and Yamamuro already fulfilled that role back then. But after seeing all of these characters sharing the same thing outline, I came to the conclusion it might be Naotoshi Shida, and that's probably the main reason. The intro starts with Super Saiyan Goku throwing a Kamehameha. This is animated by Toshiyuki Kanno, strangely enough without his typical koala nose. Instead of it, we get Shida nose. His work is quite recognizable through his excessive details and trademark Super Saiyan hair. Next up is Kazuya Izada on Piccolo. As always, his work is fantastic. Izada uses his typical slow-mo and wide-open mouth to make the scene more dramatic, and the way Piccolo wrinkles his nose is totally Izada-esque. The background effect is great as well, that debris effect is quite similar to Shimanuki's. I presume Izada also made the scene with Tien. Even though it's corrected by Shida, I still see some of Izada's traits, such as his rotation after firing his Kiko-Ho or Tri-Beam, of course less exaggerated than usual. This cool scene with Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is made by Kanno once again, same thing as the Goku scene. Gohan looks great, with this typical Kanno hair, even though his belt and wristbands are miscolored. They are supposed to be blue and not red, but I digress. As for Great Saiyaman and Krillin, Shida's corrections really stand out, so it's really difficult to tell who made these. In Krillin's scene, it could be Shida himself or Yamamuro, it's really vague. Majin Vegeta's close-up is possibly made by Naoki Miyahara, since he's very good at drawing angry looks. Nonetheless, his nose resembles the art style of another animator, Yuji Akamada, who has the habit of drawing mad expressions just like Miyahara. The final explosion segment is quite fast, so it's very hard to confirm who made it. I suggest it's Naoki Tate, because he usually makes use of this camera angle. Although Vegeta's eyes and background effects are similar to Shimanuki's, who Tate is inspired by, therefore it might be a concrete proof. This cool shot of future Trunks is probably animated by Shida, as we can see from the shading around his mouth. But the sword animation is clearly Yamamuro's work. Even under Shida's supervision, Yamamuro's artwork is recognizable. As for the following scene, once again, Shida's corrections are the only visible thing. What Shida did in this intro is basically the same thing Yamamuro does in everything he supervises. Moving on, Miyahara animates the shots of Frieza and Zarbon. Once more, he shows his ability to draw furrowed gazes and, in Zarbon's case, also pronounced noses. Ginyu and Recoome are work of another animator who worked for Studio Junio, Masaki Sato, whose last work was in Movie 9. His drawings are angular, as always, but not as stiff as his recent work, also thanks to Shida's corrections, who even changed the shape of Ginyu's nose. Recoome is simply identical to his artwork in episode 64. Speaking of Studio Junio, Cell's part might be made by a minor animator of Maeda's team, such as Chikako Uesugi or Akira Inagami, but it's just a mere hypothesis. On the other hand, 18 is clearly handled by Naotoshi Shida, who is simply an animation genius. While not as fast as his current animation, his style is just unique. I love how he makes characters move towards the camera within a couple of seconds, resulting in a very fast close-up. That's what he did in episode 57 of Super. Speaking of Super, his chief supervisor Takeo Ide animates 16's Rocket Punch. He's not well known for model art nor unique choreographies, but what I mostly like of Ide is the intensity and force on his animation, caused by exaggerated face expressions and rash movements. That's why his work usually stands out despite Maeda, Miyahara, Yamamuro and, in this case, Shida's corrections. Now Kitate most likely worked on the Kaioshin scene. We already know about his inclination to movement, and this scene is no exception. I love how Kaioshin stands still, but his Potaras keep moving. Besides, the way he turns around may be another proof of Tate's style. Unfortunately, I'm not that sure about the last segments with Dabura and Majin Buu. Shida's corrections are too evident. Fat Buu is very hard to tell, while Dabura might be animated by Masahiro Shimanuki, judging from his eyes, but again, it's another hypothesis. Now, I watched the other intro over and over again, but I haven't managed to find out who did what. However, we know that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is animated by Tadayoshi Yamamuro, who used to draw even better than Toriyama in my opinion. And keep in mind I said used to. Speaking of gorgeous artwork, the intro ends with an amazing shot of Gogeta, made by veteran Masahiro Shimanuki. Nowadays he may not be as good as he was as animator, but if there is one thing that didn't change is his art style. Cheek shading, round pupils, well-defined nose, and, most important, his meticulousness in details. Gogeta looks simply badass. As for the other characters, I have no idea. It's basically impossible to hazard a name. The game credits are so disorganized, I don't know whether they used a specific order or not. It's still an amazing intro, and I think it's kinda waste for such a bad game like this one. I wish Tenkaichi 3 had this intro, but I digress. I guess we can call it the celebrity intro, thanks to the presence of the most talented animators from Dragon Ball: Shimanuki, Izada, Tate, Yamamuro, Shida and so many others, just like a movie. Anyway, the animation is great. I love this intro, which is the best thing in one of the worst Dragon Ball video games. So that was the 150 subs animation breakdown special. Again, thanks for your support, we have reached an important goal. Thanks also for watching and see ya on the next video.